Hello, my dears, and this is the lesson of social studies, and today we are going to have the lesson of discovering the universe. In this lesson right here, we are going to discover more about the universe around us. In the last time, we discovered about the climate of the Earth, and we said that the climate is different from the weather, and then the climate is the seasonal climate of one place in 1 year or one season. And then we said that the earth itself, it's covered with different layers of air, and this air is having layers of atmosphere and thermosphere and different other layers. Today we are going to have more information about the universe. Now we will have it in a bigger view, and we will understand more about the universe and what tools people used through history to know about the universe and to study it, and what kind of scientists were there to study the universe around us. So go and open page 19. The universe is full of gaseous masses named constellations. A constellation is a group of stars with known patterns. Okay, so right now, if you look to the sky, up to the sky in a starry night, what you will see in the sky?
So many stars and
So many stars. But these stars, does they just scattered in the sky, or no, they have constellation and patterns and shapes?
Yeah, they have constellation patterns.
Yes. Of course, they have their own constellations, their own shapes, and their own patterns. Although there are billions of constellations in the universe, recently astronomers have divided the constellation into 88 groups with clear boundaries. Now, if you go to look to the sky in the night, as you can see in the book, my girls, you will see that in the sky there's a lot of stars. But some of these stars actually, they make constellation. What does it mean, constellation? Which means like a shape or a pattern. This constellation could be like, for example, there's a shape that's called the Big Bear. It's like a big bear, like this. All of these stars like this. So they call it what? They call it the Big Bear.
The Big Bear. This is a snowman.
What?
This is a snowman.
It's my drawing. Come on, I will put ears. Okay, there's another constellation. It's called the Small Bear. And there's another constellation that's called Ursa Major. There's a lot of constellations in the sky, but all the astronomers and the scientists, they say that all the sky around us we found about approximately, it's not accurate. They found like 88 groups with clear boundaries. These boundaries, they call it what? They call that shape, they call it constellation. They call it constellation. But over the years, people have created many ways to help us know more about universe boundaries, solar system. One of these discoveries is the telescope. Now, as you can see here in the picture, one of the tools that people use to discover the boundaries around us on the universe, around the Earth, was a device called the telescope. This small device, as you can see it right here, it's small, but when you use it, you can see the whole universe and the whole sky, and you can see the stars very near of you, although they are so far. But when I use this telescope, you will feel that they are so near of you, and maybe sometimes you can see the surface of that planet or that star. Like if we see the moon with that telescope, we can see the surface of the moon through this lens of that telescope. So one of these discoveries is telescope. Telescope is an instrument used to make distant objects appear nearer. It has two lenses working at the same time. One lens gathers visible light of the image in a far distance, and the second one, which is close to your eyes, enlarge the image. So we have here two lenses. One lens right here. In this edge, we have a big lens, and then we have a small lens right here. This lens, it grabs what? It grabs the light from the objects around us, and then it make it what with the big image, and then it bring the image to give it to the small lens right here. The small lens make it zoom for that image and make it in smaller way so you can see it. Okay, or sorry, it brings the light from other objects, and the second lens it make it enlarge for you, and you can see those objects as they are very near of you, although they are so far.
Okay, Miss, what is the reason for the telescope? Like, you see a telescope?
The reason is to discover the universe. Because when we look to the sky, we can see the stars. We can see the light of the stars. They are like dots in the air. You will see it like this, dot, 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 dot. But if you have the telescope, then you can see these stars very near of you, like they are so near, and you can see the shape of them. You can see the pattern of them. But if they are so far, you can't see it with your own eyes alone. You need something more strong than your eyes to see the far away things. So we need a telescope. That's one. So
Can you see through the telescope and if it was morning?
What?
Can you see through the telescope if it was morning?
Yes, you can use it in the morning, and you can use it also in the night. In the morning, however, you cannot look to the sun, but because in the morning, most of the time, we don't have anything except of the sun, right? There's no stars. But in the night, we use it more often because in the night, the sky is full with the stars, so there's a lot of things to study it. And the reason of the telescope is to make the stars so near to us so we can understand them and understand their constellations. But in the middle of the day, we don't have anything except the sun. And in the sun, we can't use that telescope more often because it will burn our eyes, because the sun is very hot. Sun is a very hot star that we can't stare to it for a long time. Even behind the telescope, it will hurt our eyes. So it's not good to watch it. Okay, we will have something here. Just a minute, let me check. Before this one. Yes, this one. Okay, in 19, or this is not 19, it's supposed to be 16, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Here it's supposed to be 6. So in 1608, spectacles, eyeglasses maker, his name is Hans Libery. He invented what? He invented something else. He invented now, after the telescope, they invented the spectacle. What is a spectacle? It's also a device, as you can see here in the other page, which is 91. There's another device, it's called a spectacle. The one who made it, his name is Hans Lippershey. He lived in Holland. He was said to be the first one to invent and assemble the first telescope, although he wasn't responsible for making an actual one. This person, he made this device, as you can see in the picture right here in your books. This device is called a spectacle. It's like an eyeglass. And they said he is the first one to make a small pattern and a base pattern of the telescope. But the same telescope, he's not the one who made it. No, there was other people who made it. But the people who said that the person who his invention made the telescope is possible was Hans Lippershey, because he invented the spectacle, and people after that, they thought about the telescope. So this is a small pattern or basic pattern of the telescope by Hans Lippershey. I'm giving you now the history of what? The history of the telescope and how we discovered the world. Can you see this with me?
Yeah, good. In 1608.
Yes. Now, however, in the year 1609, the Italian scientist Galileo Galilei was the first person to make a real telescope and introduce it to the world of astronomy. Now, who made the first telescope ever? This man. His name is Galileo Galilei. He's Italiano. Galileo, and always the Italian words, they finish with O. Galileo, Fernando, Roberto. Okay, so they always have this O. His name is Galileo
Miss, this is
Galilei.
what name? It's
He's
Japan or what?
Italian.
Italian?
Yes. So his name is Galileo Galilei. He was the first person to make the telescope. So if I ask you in the exam, who was the first person to discover the telescope? It's Galileo.
Galileo.
It's not Hans. So somebody would say, طب Hans? No. Hans, he made a basic tool or device. After that, when Galileo came, he took that idea and he made a telescope. So the first ever to make a telescope was Galileo. He was the first person to say that the earth revolves around the sun. He was also the first person to say that the earth is actually a planet that revolves around the sun and goes around the sun. All the people before Galileo, they thought that the sun goes around the earth, that the sun is the one who moves. But he came to say, no, the earth actually goes around the sun. The earth goes around the sun, not vice versa. After that, because he changed the understanding of those people who lived at that time, they took him and they killed him. Because at that
Why they killed them? Miss?
Because at that time, when you come with different ideas and new ideas other than other people, they will come and kill you. This person, he came to destroy all the understanding that they have since thousands of years. He come to say that all the people believed before that the earth is bigger than the sun, and the earth is going around. No, they thought that the sun is smaller than the earth and it goes around the earth. He came to say, no, the sun is bigger than the earth and the earth is the one who goes around it. So he was... This is what makes all the people confused. And then after that, they made a trial against him and they killed him.
Miss, he made me confused also.
What?
He made me confused.
Why?
Because how the earth is bigger than the sun?
Yeah, it's not bigger than the sun. I told you, when he came with those ideas, people said that this person, he has ideas from his brain and they killed him. Some of the things that he did was correct. Some of the things he did was wrong, of course.
Yeah.
But how you are going to know right from wrong unless you try, unless you discover? This is the importance of discoveries. Okay, let's go for the next page and learn about another personality that is very unique in history, that made a lot of invention. His name is Isaac Newton. Or
I like his hair.
Isaac Newton. Yes, his hair is nice compared to that age, right?
Yeah.
He blow his hair and he came. He looks so gentle and decent, like, oh, my hair. So at the age of 74, Sir Isaac Newton, or Isaac Newton in Arabic, an English mathematician and physicist, discovered the laws of gravity and came up with a new concept of telescope. Now, Isaac Newton was the first one to come with this theory that there is a gravity in the earth, and he discovered the law of gravity. Also, he came up with a new concept of the telescope. Yani he made some enhancement and improvement in the same telescope that we had. He used a curved mirror to gather the light instead of lens. So instead of having lens to have the light, he used mirrors to have lights. So that's the improvement that he put in the telescope. Instead of the lens, putting what? Mirrors. After Isaac Newton, how people discovered the universe? Now they have more technology, and they discovered after Isaac Newton that we can not only just see the sky and see the stars, we can actually go to them. How? By inventing rockets. Another invention that helped to discover the universe is the rocket. The rocket here, means that this is a new era of knowledge and discoveries. In this era, we are not any longer sitting on the earth waiting for the information from the outside and looking behind our lenses. No, we are going to get inside our rockets and go for those areas and go for those stars to discover them by ourselves. So
Miss, you can't go to the stars with a plane?
no, of course not. Because why? Because the airplane cannot go further more than the atmosphere that we have. This is the layers of the Earth. I told you each layer has different characteristic than the other one. Now the airplane has a power in the engine. This is airplane, okay? And don't mind my.
This is a starfish, Miss.
No, it's airplane, and don't say anything other than that.
Okay.
Okay, this is airplane. The airplane has engines right here. Those engines works usually on fans and in a small engine that doesn't have that much power like the rocket. The rocket, as you can see right here, before it goes, there will be an explosion in those things
Yeah.
right here. There will be a lot of air, gases, and explosion to make the power so much for the rocket to make it
Go up.
go up. Yes. So the power that push him up is a way more than the one that you
The
find in the airplane, because the airplane, it's a usual engine and it doesn't have any kind of explosion. It has only electricity and has only some fuel, and that's it, and it will work like a car. But instead, because it has wings, it flies. But if you want to, for the airplane to go like this up to the sky in a vertical way, like the rocket, it cannot. The only airplane that can do that is the helicopter. And the helicopter, because it has fans also, those fans, the power of the fans is little. So it can't go very much in the air. So the only one who can go is the rocket, who can go for long distance. So we have now, after the telescope, we have rockets. The rocket is a huge spacecraft with a huge engine. A normal airplane cannot reach outer space like the rocket simply because airplane, unlike rockets, cannot move where there is no air. Also, another reason for the airplane, they cannot go in the space with no airs, because here, after the atmosphere we have, if the airplane go for the other area in the air, there is no oxygen here or air. So what will happen? The airplane cannot go anymore because their engine rely on the oxygen also. Okay. Robert H. Goddard, an American professor and physicist, was the first person to create and build a rocket. He managed to launch his first rocket along with his team in 1926. So the first rocket was made by Robert Goddard in 1926, and he is American scientist who made the first rocket. Okay, this is how we discovered the rockets of today. The rockets of today, the universe around the universe around us. From looking to the sky with our plain eyes, until we have the telescope with the lenses, until we improve these telescope to have curved mirror with Isaac Newton, until we have our own rockets to go to discover the skies by our own selves with Robert Goddard from America. And this is the journey of discovering the universe. In the next time, inshallah, we are going to have another lesson about understanding the universe and what is the planets around us, how the earth revolves, and what is the seasons that we have, and more informations are yet to come. Do you have any question, my girls?
Yeah, Miss, you're going to send us the lessons that's going to be in the quiz today?
The lesson, you mean the papers that have the answers, answer key?
No, the English quiz. Are you going to tell us the lessons in the weekly plan that we studied?
Yes. We are working on that, inshallah. Today you will have it.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions, sweetie?
No, thank you, Miss.
Okay, thank you so much for your listening. Inshallah, I will see you next time, inshallah. Bye for now and have a nice weekend. Bye.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.